Okay, for my speech this week, I'm giving a portion of a speech by Theodore Roosevelt called The Duties of an American Citizen, given in January of 1883. Here we go. Of course, in one sense, the first essential for a man's being a good citizen is his possession of the home virtues, of which we think when we call a man by the emphatic adjective of manly. No man can be a good citizen who is not a good husband and a good father, who is not honest in his dealings with other men and women, faithful to his friends, and fearless in the presence of his foes, who has not a good sound heart, a sound mind, and a sound body. Exactly as no amount of attention to civil duties will save a nation if the domestic life is undermined, or there is lack of the rude military virtues which alone can assure a country's position in the world. In a free republic, the ideal citizen must be one willing and able to take arms for the defense of the flag, exactly as the ideal citizen must be the father of many healthy children. A race must be strong and vigorous. It must be a race of good fighters and good breeders, else its wisdom will come to naught and its virtue be ineffective. And no sweetness and delicacy, no love for and appreciation of beauty and art or literature, no capacity for building up material prosperity can possibly atone for the lack of the great vital virtues. But this aside from my subject, for what I wish to talk of is the attitude of the American citizen in civic life. It ought to be axiomatic in this country that every man must devote a reasonable share of his time to doing his duty in the political life of the community. No man has a right to shirk his political duties under whatever plea of pleasure or business, and while such shirking may be pardoned in those of small cleans, it is entirely unpardonable in those among whom it is most common. And the people whose circumstances give them freedom from struggle in life, insofar as the community grows to think rightly, it will likewise grow to regard the young man of means, who shirks his duty to the state in time of peace, as being only 1 degree worse than the man who thus shirks it in time of a war. A great many of our men in business, or of our young men who are bent on enjoying life, as they have a perfect right to do if only they do not sacrifice other things to enjoyment, rather plume themselves upon being good citizens if they even vote. Yet voting is the very least of their duties. Nothing worth gaining is ever gained without effort. You can no more have freedom without striving and suffering for it than you can win success as a banker or lawyer without labor and effort, without self-denial in youth, and the display of a ready and alert intelligence in middle age. The people who say that they have not time to attend to politics are simply saying that they are unfit to live in a free community. Their place is under a despotism, or if they are content to do nothing but vote, you can take despotism tempered by an occasional plebiscite, like that of the Second Napoleon. In one of Lowell's magnificent stanzas about the Civil War, he speaks of the fact which his countrymen were then learning, that freedom is not a gift that tarries long in the hands of cowards. Nor yet does it tarry long in the hands of the sluggard and the idler. In the hands of man so much absorbed in the pursuit of pleasure or in the pursuit of gain, or so much wrapped up in his own easy home life as to be unable to take his part in the rough struggle with his fellow men for political supremacy. If freedom is worth having, if the right of self-government is a valuable right, then the one and the other must be retained exactly as our forefathers acquired them, by labor and especially by labor and organization. That is, in combination with our fellows who have the same interests and the same principles. We should not accept the excuses of the businessman who attributes his failure to the fact that his social duties were so pleasant and engrossing that he had no time left for work in his office. Nor would we pay much heed to his further statement that he did not like business anyhow because he thought the morals of the business community by no means what they should be, and saw that the great successes were most often won by the men of the Jay Gould stamp. It is just the same way with politics. It makes one feel half angry and half amused and wholly contemptuous to find men of high business or social standing in the community saying that they really have not got time to go towards meetings, to organize political clubs, and to take a personal share in all the important details of practical politics. Men who further urge against their going the fact that they think the condition of the political morality low, and are afraid that they may be required to do what is not right if they go into politics. And that is the end of my excerpt for this week. Hope you enjoyed it.